The thing is, I love dirt bikes. I don't know about you, but me, I love dirt bikes. In today's conversation, I want to acquaint you with the process, whatever it takes, for you to make money flipping dirt bikes. Okay, we're going to speak about buying and selling dirt bikes for big profits. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to become a millionaire for sure. So I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Now let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about how to make money flipping dirt bikes. Okay, how do you buy? How do you sell? How do you make big bucks in the process? The first thing is you have to understand now. If you love riding dirt bikes, like I do, you have to be mechanically inclined. You have to understand the mechanics of the whole thing before you can actually have a clear idea of buying and selling dirt bikes. Now, if you do not have anything about mechanics, that's fine. Just have a friend or some contacts who can help you. Very important you have to know the machine, boss. You need to know the machine. So first thing first, you need to find the perfect dirt bike. So where do you find used dirt bikes for sale? Well, there's a constellation of places you can go. For instance, Facebook Marketplace is a great place. Just type in dirt bikes around me. Okay. You can use Craigslist. It's another great place. You have Cycle Trader. I mean, they have actually been around for a while. We love them. Okay. You can search all the dirt bikes available throughout the nation or in just your city, or filter your search to just the specific bikes you are interested in. Okay. This is really great. So it's called Cycle Trader. Okay. Very important. Now, as I said, mechanically inclined individuals are natural fits. You got to love the machine. You got to love you can't be selling something that you have no idea about. Okay. So the thing here is that you want to actually understand the machine. You want to maybe get your hands dirty. Maybe you can fix up and flip dirt bikes just to see how the machine works. So this is very important. Now, as I'm talking to you about finding the right dirt bike, the question is, what dirt bikes should you flip? Because all dirt bikes are not created equal. There is a hierarchy. Whether you want, based on the popularity of dirt bikes, you got to know, for instance, that Honda, they are very good. They are very popular. You have KTM. Okay. You have a Kawasaki, for instance, also. So these brands are typically considered to make the most durable dirt bikes out there, which is why they are very popular on the resale market. Okay. It's very important. And Husqvarna also is very important. So one thing I want to say here is that you want to have a clear idea of the brands. You can do a Google search to see Google Trends to see the popularity of those brands over time. Okay. First step, find. Second step, I want to assess. I want you to evaluate. In other words, you need to double check market prices, because you are just buying, you're just flipping. You want to flip dirt bikes. You got to have a clear idea of what the price should be, not just what the price is. No, what should be the price. Okay. So one of the biggest mistakes to avoid is thinking you can sell the bike for an unrealistic price. You may have a number in your mind. Yeah, that's fine, that you want to sell a bike for, but that's not what the market is saying it will sell for. Then it will not sell for it. Okay. Always check what the KBB price is for a dirt bike that you are looking to resell. So whoever is buying the bike, they will likely check this too, because you're not the only one having access to that resource, right? So you want to base your price around that. Also, if there are multiple similar bikes to yours listed, you cannot be too more expensive without justification. Otherwise, your bike will never sell. Okay. You want to target bikes with little to no repairs needed, because that's the mistake we see in our research, that a lot of bike flippers, they take on a project they cannot handle. So when you learn how to resell dirt bikes, you will see You will soon see which bikes you are good at working on, and if there is any that you are not, right? You really want to steer clear of the ones that give you trouble, or the ones that have expensive parts, really. And you also need to think about the fact that a dirt bike's value overall is based on these 5 things. 5 things. Never forget that, boss. 5 things. The brand of the dirt bike, the type of dirt bike, 2 or 4 stroke, the aftermarket parts, right? That's very important. The local market value, and how well the bike has been maintained. Okay, so the brand is very important. I just gave you a few brands that you have to think about: Honda, Kawasaki, and so on and so forth. KTM being really good also. Is it 2-stroke or 4-stroke? Okay, now 2-strokes have been getting more popular around the country and even the globe in the past couple of years. So they are cheap to maintain, easy to work on, and a blast to ride. This means that their value has noticeably increased, especially if the bike is in good shape. I personally, yours sincerely I have been on those bikes, and I see they're really good. The 2-strokes are really good. And how many aftermarket parts are there? What is the market, the local market? Okay, and was it maintained at all? So you have to think about those things. Those are really, really, really important. Third step, you need to polish. So you need to clean your dirt bike thoroughly. Okay, you just bought a used dirt bike that you are trying to flip. Okay, that's fine. But you need to really, really polish it. You need to really transform it, okay? I mean, your dirt bike needs to look as close to brand new as possible. A hose and brush will do the job, but you might need to borrow or rent a power washer if your bike is extremely dirty or hasn't been washed in a while. Okay, first, put the bike out on a stand and remove the plastic seat and tires. Use the power washer to clean the tires and plastic, quickly removing tough to clean grime and stains. Next, you want to get the hose and brush washed. You really want to wash the seat and let it dry. Okay, so with the plastic removed from the dirt bike, you are free to clean the engine, which you should. If you can, remove the engine and scrub it with the cleaner. Okay, the cool thing here is if you do not want to be involved in this sort of quote unquote shenanigans, all the cleaning, whatever, just send it to a shop and they will clean it for you. Of course, you got to have the budget for it, but yeah. And replace your levers and grips. Very important. In part of the polishing part, you have to replace your levers and grips. Okay, grips and levers sustain a lot of wear and tear over time because they are vital to the operation of your dirt bike, right? So you want to make an excellent first impression on the buyer. And when they sit down on the bike, the last thing they want to see are old, dirty grips or loose levers. Okay, so replacing those crucial parts is a simple way to improve the look and feel of the bike before selling it, and you should. So when we think about the replacement process, so replacing the levers and grips is a straightforward process for most dirt bikes. First, you want to place your dirt bike on a stand, then turn the adjuster inward to give you enough slack in the cable, right, to remove the lever. So remove any bolts securing the lever through the perch and then detach the lever from the cable from the cable piece. Now, I'm telling you these things because I am mechanically inclined, but if you're not, that's fine. You want to bring this to a shop or just entrust the dirt bike to a friend of yours or a family member who knows one or two things around dirt bikes, and they'll take care of it. They'll do it for you. So remember, you have to change the grips also. Okay, so changing the grips requires a screwdriver, contact cleaner, grip glue, and new grips. First, you want to remove the old grips from the dirt bike. Most riders can remove the grips easily with a screwdriver and contact cleaner. Alternatively, you can cut the grips off the bike with a blade. So you have a lot of options out there. Let's talk about the price. You need to have a clear idea of the value of your bike. Okay, so because the whole thing is we're not doing bike flipping for as a charitable enterprise, whatever. No, now is the time to seriously consider what your dirt bike is worth. You'll have to take into account any missing or damaged parts. If the bike needs a lot of work, you might have difficulty finding a buyer, and you might instead want to invest some money into fixing it up before you sell it. All bikes lose value over time, so don't expect to get as much for the bike as you paid for it. It's just like a car. You drop a car off the lot, market value just drops after 5 seconds, whatever. As soon as it's out, it's out of the lot. Okay, same thing here. So it's important to really have that in mind and keep your expectations reasonable. Don't you try to really, like think I'm gonna get rich with this bike, whatever. No, you don't become rich with one bike, flipping one bike. You flip dozens of bikes. That's where the money comes from. Okay, so do your research. Try checking online, looking anywhere that used dirt bikes are sold. Look for models that are similar to yours and find out how much other people are charging for their dirt bikes. So this will help you get an idea of how much your bike is ultimately worth, because that's what you want. Okay, don't forget to account for any problems with your bike when coming up with a price. Damaged parts, scratches, and other flaws will lower the value of your bike, as will a missing title, for example. So be sure to prepare your paperwork and mention it in your listing. Have it ready for the date of the transaction. And also think about market conditions and timing, because timing can play a major part in determining how fast you can sell your dirt bike and how much you will get for it. I mean, you want to sell when there's likely be, let's say, many people shopping for dirt bikes, right? So at the beginning of the riding season, many people are interested in riding and buying a used dirt bike. So having more buyers around makes it easier to get your asking price. So it's always a great idea to sell during or just before the racing season. Very important. Now, the thing is, you probably tell us, I live in a place where, there's no racing season or whatever. That's fine. Because when we speak about the racing season or the dirt bike market in general, you have to focus on the national market, not your local market, because you're not going to have enough, bike enthusiasts to actually get into be interested in your dirt bike. So you got to always think about a nationwide audience. Very important. Now is the time to showcase. I mean, you've done all the work. You paid the money to polish it up, to polish the dirt bike up. Everything is clean and everything is nice, fit and fresh. That's kind of cool. Now it's time to take quality photos to actually showcase how great of a dirt bike you have. And one of the best ways to entice potential buyers is to take high quality, high resolution photos of your bike. So shoppers want to see products from every angle. So the more pictures you take, the better. For most of your potential buyers, photos will be the first impression, the very first impression they get of your dirt bike. So most shoppers will not give you a second look if the photos are poor quality. So a good photograph, however, builds credibility and interest right away. Okay, so to get the best photographs, you need good lighting. If you have, let's say you have access to a few strong lamps, you could take your photos in your garage against, let's say, a clean background. Very important. But the best lighting is found outside. So think about how you're going to plan the photography session. Find maybe a brick wall or empty parking lot. Make sure the space is clean and take photos from every angle. You will need pictures from the front, sides, and rear of the bike, as well as details of the controls. If you have the ability, it can be a great idea to make a short video of your bike in action. You may be more likely to sell the bike if you have a decent video to show it off. So once you have, let's say you have 5 to 15 photos, you can prepare your listing. So use your social circle. Okay, selling your dirt bike can be a challenge, so finding someone to help you sell the bike will be a lot easier. So if you can tap into your social network, either offline or online. Okay, it's all about what? It's all about making sure that you are able to spread the word. Okay, let your friends and family members know that you plan to sell a dirt bike, or you plan to sell multiple dirt bikes. Okay, after a while, as you build confidence, as you build experience in the bike flipping market, you would have established a lot of contacts already. You would have known whom to go to, where to sell your bikes, how to go about the whole process. But the very first time might be a little not complicated, but a little more difficult for you. And what I want to say here is that it's all about having the right contacts. It's all about spreading the word. Never stop communicating, because at this point you probably don't have a budget to advertise on Facebook, which you shouldn't do anyway as a starter, as a neophyte, right? But the thing is, you have to be able to use word of mouth, and also the good old social media, Facebook, Facebook groups, Facebook, your page, where you can display the bike you're trying to sell. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Suriki Show. We are still having a conversation about how to make money flipping dirt bikes. And the next thing you need to do is you need to describe. See, you've taken pictures. That's good. You've showcased how great the bike is. This is kind of cool. Okay. But you need to have a descriptive listing. Very important. There are a lot of places to advertise your dirt bike to the broader community, especially online. So popular choices include Facebook Marketplace, Instagram, and Craigslist. You could also advertise your bike in a local newspaper or classified publication or on a dirt bike specific website. So how do you actually make a good listing? Well, at a minimum, that's just the minimum. You will need to include the following information about the dirt bike in your listing. Let's say the year, very important, the brand, because that's what potential purchasers care about. The year, the brand, the model, the engine type, and the engine size, very important. So for efficiency's sake, in our view, it's best to include as much information about your dirt bike as possible. Okay, to save time, describe its condition, the maintenance you've performed on it, any aftermarket features you have added, and provide your minimum asking price. Basically, include all the information you would like to know about the dirt bike if you were on the buyer's end of things. In other words, if you're a buyer, what would you have wanted to see? Also, be sure to include accurate contact information in your description so the buyer can contact you directly. It's usually preferred to offer more than one form of contact to make getting in touch with you as easy as possible. Okay, so you can probably have like a phone number for calls or text and an email address, okay, for direct email. And also, you want to show honesty and integrity. Okay, be honest about the condition and price of your dirt bike. Remember, you are trying to be a dirt bike flipper. This is not just a one-time transaction. You'll be doing this over and over and over. So if you build credibility, if you show honesty, if you show integrity from the get-go, that's wonderful. Discuss any potential mechanical issues with buyers and be upfront about the reasons for your pricing. Okay, and a fair, above-board transaction benefits both you and the dirt bike's new owner. So it's really important to understand that, you need to build trust and credibility over time, but you do it one transaction at a time. On every transaction, you have to be accurate. You have to be honest. You have to be, you have to show integrity. Now let's talk about the fun part. You need to sell, okay? And you need to make that money. You need to make the money, right? Well, the first thing first, you want to meet in a safe location. In other words, when you really think about it, a potential buyer is a stranger. Let's just put it that way. Not because he or she is giving you money that the risk is out there, the risk is gone. No, he or she is a stranger. So it's best to meet them in a neutral place, at a neutral location. Very important. Preferably a space where they can check the dirt bike out and test drive it safely. If you choose to allow them to test drive the bike, make sure that you are cautious, because when you sell to people who you don't know, if the person were to get away with your bike, that's really not good, right? One thing you want to do is please always trying to do your due diligence. You want to gauge the knowledge of the purchasers, the potential purchasers of bikes in general, okay? And make sure they are serious about purchasing a dirt bike by asking basic questions about their skills, current model, and what they have been looking for in the bike. Okay, it's important that you don't want them to disclose your home address or where the dirt bike is being stored when selling to someone you don't know. And you should avoid answering any questions about your work schedule or times you won't be at home as well. Okay, it's all about just being cautious and also trying to negotiate properly. So in-person negotiations are often clearer and easier to complete for both parties than negotiations over the phone or through a messaging app. Okay, so if you can meet the buyer safely, it's ideal to negotiate pricing and other factors face to face. And if you have priced your dirt bike reasonably, you should not need to lower the price by much. Okay, because the buyer will know that you are being reasonable. But it's always important. It's always we recommend always to actually factor in room for negotiation, so that you know that they'll probably bring it down a notch. So even if you want to sell the bike at a certain price, let's say hypothetically $1,000, hey, listen, I'm gonna go for $1,200, so that if they come down anyway, I still have a buffer. Very important. And success tactics, there are a lot of success tactics in this industry for you to actually make sure that you sell your bike quickly. Just make sure that you're honest, make sure that you are forceful, make sure that you have a story to tell the buyer, the potential buyer. Tell the story about the dirt bike. Tell us, you want to let the potential buyer dream. That's all that's important, okay? So the best places to sell your dirt bikes, in our view, you have eBay, you have Craigslist, you have Facebook Marketplace. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your attention. This was the end of today's conversation. I was talking to you about how to make money flipping dirt bikes. So I spoke about finding, assessing, polishing, pricing, showcasing, describing, and selling. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.